Welcome back, Fantasy Family. We are back for another season. I'm your host, Victor, of the Fantasy Extras Podcast, here with my co-host for this season. You're supposed to introduce yourself, bro.
Oh, my bad. Co-host, Mariano, Mari Mars, Mackinac Marty, whatever you want to call me.
Whatever you want to call him.
That's it. We're back at it again, back with the juice, back with the sauce, whatever you want to call it.
All the information that you need. We're glad to be back. This season is going to be a crazy season.
Absolutely.
Due to COVID. There's, automatically, if a player has COVID, it's 2 weeks. 2 weeks you're not playing them. So, there's a lot of preparation that's needed for this season. This is never before seen. We've never been through a pandemic. So, I think it's important to pay attention this season to this podcast as much as you can.
Absolutely. The best advice that I could give is to get with whoever's the commissioner of your league and kind of just see how they feel about extending the roster size as well, right? Normally, leagues can go from 10 to 12 players, but like for us, for instance, we decided to extend our roster to 19, just in case, right? Because you never know when someone can go down, right? They're going to go on that COVID list, which is a temporary IR for at least 2 weeks if someone tests positive. So you want to just have that backup and get with the commissioner for sure. That'd be the best thing,
especially in
for
the
this season.
12-man league, where it's harder to have a deeper roster. You for sure want to have those extra players. Okay, enough of that COVID bullshit.
That's right. We tired of this shit.
Tired,
man.
Fucking
yeah.
America.
We gotta
can't
be
get
6
together.
feet, but we got tested, so we're good. We're good. Yeah, we ain't gotta worry about that.
We have 3 topics for you today. We have top 5 sleepers, top 5 rookies, and then top 10 at each position. So we're gonna, I'm gonna go one player. He's gonna go one player in each segment, and that's how we rolled last year. We're gonna continue doing it this year. Oh, by the way, Mariano's on for the whole season this year, just so everyone knows. He came for one episode. We had an amazing episode. If you guys haven't seen it, don't check it out. I mean, you can, but
Don't check it out.
It's not useful this year. I'm just saying, if you want to see how we gel,
Right.
you can check it out. But, we love this shit, so we're looking forward to the season, you guys.
Yes, sir. We're going to run it back. So kick it off, Vic. Who you got? We're going to start with the top 5 rookies. Who's your number 1 rookie for this year?
Hands down, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And the reason being is because Damian Williams said, I'm opting out because of COVID, bruh. And Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to be on a dynamic offense. The Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl champs. He's going to get his touches. He's going to be an amazing pass catching back. He could run the ball. He's gonna do it all. He's gonna eat over there in that offense, hands down.
Yep. That's who I got as my number 1 rookie as well. So what I'll do is I'll go to my second rookie. It's Henry Ruggs, man. I know that it's a little biased because most people know that I'm a diehard Raider fan, right? But from everything that I've seen, Henry Ruggs is going to be getting the touches that Antonio Brown would have gotten last year, which means he's going to be a focal point of the offense, right? So, Henry Ruggs for number 2.
That's especially with Tyrell Williams, torn labrum.
Yep.
So it's gonna be the 2 rookies starting and Renfro. So
we'll see how
Henry Ruggs has to come out and take the reins of that offense week 1.
Absolutely.
Big shoes to fill,
And I think John Gruden's gonna throw the playbook at.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
at
for
him.
sure.
So he's gonna have a ton of plays.
Gonna love that guy.
Absolutely, man. What you got for number
2? I had Henry Ruggs on my list, so that knocks one player off of my list.
Yeah.
I have CeeDee Lamb as my number 2 player. I was talking to Mariano. We know Amari Cooper on the Dallas Cowboys team. The guy has 2 good games, 1 good game here, and then sleeps for like 2-3 weeks and doesn't do nothing or drops hella balls and shit. I think CeeDee Lamb is going to pick up that slack in those games. I know they have Michael Gallup. I think that just only helps him. He's for sure not going to be in the slot, so he's going to get work on the outside.
Yep.
And I think it's going to be a good compliment to Amari Cooper. Probably one of the better wide receiver number 2s in the league.
Absolutely. Yeah, couldn't agree. He's not on my list.
Okay.
You know.
Oh, okay.
But the next one on my list is Joe Burrow,
Okay.
right? If you guys watched any college football last season, it was historic. And I think that with A.J. Green coming back with Cincinnati, as well as them drafting T. Higgins, he's got a stud running back. As long as the offensive line holds up, kind of like me and Vic were talking before the show, he should have a solid season, man.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to put it at. So Joe Burrow, I would definitely have him on my roster. Probably not a starter. Let it ride out for the first few weeks and see how he's rocking and rolling. But if he comes out like he did last year at LSU, that boy's going to ball out and get us a ton of points.
Just like Kyler Murray did last year, number 1 overall pick. He came out, he did his thing on the fantasy field. The Arizona Cardinals didn't have a good record. However, he produced those stats that we needed to.
Right.
And he also didn't have as much help, as I think Joe Burrow's going to have a lot of help.
Yeah.
Deep wide receiver. Like you said, the offensive line just needs to do the job, and I think the tight end needs to help him, and he's solid. Going on to my next rookie, I have Cam Akers on the Los Angeles Rams. Todd Gurley out. He's out with the Atlanta Falcons. Darrell Henderson injured. Malcolm Brown, he wasn't productive when he had his chance last season.
Right.
The rookie has a spot to lose, I think, in a dynamic offense that loved using Todd Gurley. Gave him so many touches, ran him to the ground, and that's why he's hurt, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Or he's supposed to be cool this season, but his knees is gonna might something might happen over there in Atlanta. I don't want to wish bad on him, but Cam Akers is for sure gonna get that work in the Rams offense.
No doubt. Yeah, I like the rookie running back, but for me, it's going to be J.K. Dobbins, right? I know that Mark Ingram is the bell cow, and he's going to get majority of the work, but J.K. Dobbins was tearing it up. So I have a tie for my fifth. It's kind of fifth and sixth. They're tied for fifth on my top rookies. It's between J.K. Dobbins and then also DeAndre Swift. So DeAndre Swift was a baller at Georgia, right? Again, I don't know if you guys watch too much college football.
All those Georgia running backs, they
right?
hit the NFL hard.
They produce, man. And I think that with the Lions, they got Galladay. They're set up for success.
Hawkinson.
Yep. Hawkinson, as well as the other guy from Cal, Marvin Jones. Marvin Jones. Yeah, exactly.
He's productive.
Right?
He's productive though.
Productive. So DeAndre Swift, that's definitely a pick that I'd be okay with him at flex. Just put it to you that way.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm done with rookies. You still got any on your list?
Nope, no more rookies.
All right, so we're moving on to sleepers then, right?
Yes, sir. Sleepers is next.
Me or you?
I'll kick it off.
All right, for sure.
For my first sleeper, we're going to rock Josh Allen, man. Believe it or not. Some people, Vic kind of looked at me sideways.
A lot of people. I'm not saying. I trust Mariano, man. That's my dog.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I did a lot of research as I was reading a lot of articles, reading a lot of stuff. A lot of people don't like this man this season. I'm not saying personally I don't like him. I'm not going to draft him. But I'm just saying, Mariano, do your thing. Let us know what you're talking about.
I'll give you guys a few little stats, right? Josh Allen last year, he threw for 3,000 yards, right? He threw 20 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. But here's the real deal breaker for me on why I think he's a sleeper. This man hurdled a man last year, right? I don't know if you guys seen that, but Josh Allen can run, right? He scored
Zeke shit.
Yeah, exactly, right? He's doing leap shit, Zeke shit, whatever you want to call it, right? He scored 9 rushing touchdowns, so that totals 29 touchdowns in the regular season. So that's my first sleeper, Vic. Who you got?
He, my bad. I just want to add. He's probably the second running back behind Lamar Jackson, right?
Yeah.
Rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
That's crazy because Lamar was really doing work too.
Doing work.
Yeah.
Right.
On to my first sleeper. I'm gonna go with Chase Claypool on the Pittsburgh Steelers. A lot of people are calling Deontay Johnson the sleeper over there.
Yeah.
But I think Chase Claypool is a big body wide receiver. He's gonna get those targets in the red zone.
Out of Notre Dame.
They're comparing this man to Megatron, which I don't know if he could do all that.
That's a high comparison.
Hopefully he produces. But big body wide receiver. Ben Roethlisberger's back. That offense is going to be clicking again. That defense is going to be phenomenal. They didn't lose any pieces, I believe. Yeah, I'm really high on Chase Claypool. Dropped him late round for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. For my second sleeper, this one's going to be a head scratcher, I'm sure, to most of you. But I got David Johnson, man, of the Texans, right? Hot takes. I think he just fell out of place with the Cardinals, especially after they drafted the running back Kenyon Drake, or when they traded for Kenyon Drake. So David Johnson was a stud, man, right?
Yeah.
So if you get back in the right offensive mind with Bill O'Brien, I got a feeling that they're going to be able to run the rock, especially with Watson at the helm at quarterback.
I think it's crazy. It wasn't even like a leg injury that took him out. It was a hand injury.
Yeah.
And that fucked him up so much. Like, usually it's like the ACLs and the knees that we see that.
Right.
But it was a hand injury. Yeah.
Something like that. But it was a hand, so I got a feeling that he's going run it back, and he's going to get back to where he needs to be. And at least be a good flex, if not RB2.
That's a good late round value if you take a flyer on him in a later round.
Big time. You might even be able to pick him up on wires. Maybe no one even drafts him.
Maybe lost faith in him. On to my next sleeper. I have Cam Newton over there with the Patriots. Stidham is injured, I believe, and Brian Hoyer. Brian Hoyer. He's cool, but he's not Cam Newton. Cam Newton's fully healthy. We've seen all the workout videos. This man's putting in work. Oh, Panthers didn't take me. Panthers didn't take me back. Yeah, he got his contract that he wanted. It's a 1-year contract. He signed it for $1 million or some league minimum. League minimum.
Veteran minimum.
Steal from Cam Newton, I believe. Bill Belichick is an offensive mastermind, and he's going to get the most out of Cam Newton. I think we're going to see good things out of Cam Newton this year, even though Mariano thinks he can't throw.
I think he shot puts the football. That's what I think. He could throw it back in 2015, 2016, but it troubles me because he's had so many surgeries on his shoulder. He's a running quarterback. He's in his 30s now. So it's just, I would definitely go with Josh Allen. That's just me.
It's all good, man.
It's all good.
Hey,
it's all love.
Respect it.
That's it, right?
Yep.
For my third sleeper, I got Hunter Renfrow. We running it back with the Raider Nation, man. We out here strong. Let's go. So Hunter Renfrow came out with the stud rookie season. He really came on in the second half of the season.
After he came back from that injury.
Big time. Now that we have Henry Ruggs to open up the deep threat, I think it's going to open up the underneath stuff so much more, especially with Josh Jacobs in the backfield too.
Yeah, I think last year we had a lot of injuries at wide receiver too, and we were relying on him heavy. Even in those games that he stepped up. I feel like now that there's less pressure on him, he's going to be open more often. That we have more weapons and stuff. Definitely love Hunter Renfrow to sneak in a lot of touchdowns on that Raiders offense.
Absolutely.
Coming in on the Atlanta Falcons is Hayden Hurst as my number 3 sleeper. Hayden Hurst came from the Ravens because they drafted him and they can no longer use him because Mark Andrews emerged last season and they're wasting his potential, so they got some draft value out of Hayden Hurst. Hayden Hurst was a monster coming out of is it South Carolina?
Yeah.
South Carolina. Somewhere over there. Anyways, he was a top tight end prospect. We know that coming out of college.
Right.
Had all the potential, didn't get used over there. We know that Atlanta loves using the tight end, aka as we know from Austin Hooper last season, which made me eat my fucking words. I was talking so much shit about him last season. I hated that guy. Hey, I'm giving him his props, his respects. I eat my words when I'm wrong. We take accountability on this show. Atlanta loves using the tight end, and they will use Hayden Hurst for sure.
Mm-hmm. For my next sleeper, this is number 4 for me. I'm going Calvin Ridley, right? I think last year I actually drafted Calvin Ridley. I think it was in the later rounds, around 4th or 5th round. I think I drafted him a year too early, right? This year, I think he's really going to come into his own. And the fact that they got Todd Gurley, if Todd Gurley can get back to just a shell of himself from when he was balling with the Rams, I think that's going to help open up the offense significantly, as long as the offensive line can hold up as well.
If he runs well enough, that's going to open the play action game, and sky's the limit when you have Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley, and now we have Hayden Hurst as another option.
Yep.
Play action, fools a lot of defenders, and it counts for a lot of touchdowns. That's why it's so important in the league.
Yep.
Any more points you got on Calvin? Or?
Nope, I'm done with Calvin.
All right. Going on to my number 4 sleeper, I have Will Fuller. I think this is his offense now that D-Hop has left to the Cardinals.
D-Hop, Nuke, whatever you want to call him.
That man's quarterback proof, by the way. It is his offense. He's dynamic. Him and DeAndre Hopkins are doing the thing for a while. When he stays healthy, that's the major key, though. If he stays healthy, you probably be able to get this man in the later round just because of his health concerns. If he stays healthy the full season, I think it's his offense, and he'll be the number 1 wide receiver for sure.
Yeah, that's a solid pick. I had him last year as well. And the injuries is what's killed me, right? When he does ball out, he could put up like 20 points a game.
Easy.
Easy. So that's a solid pick, Vic. For my last one, I don't think you guys are going to believe this one either, right? Last one for my last sleeper is Daniel Jones, right? Daniel Jones, you got Saquon in the backfield. On the outside, you still got Golden Tate. But here's the biggest thing that I picked up is that when I was reviewing the stats from last year and also the fantasy points, Daniel Jones was actually the 5th best quarterback over the second half of the season. So he was literally balling out last year as a rookie. So for the sophomore year, sometimes there are sophomore slumps, but I think he's going to be a solid number 2 or even number 3 quarterback because, again, with the whole COVID thing, you want to have depth on the depth chart, right? Just in case your starters do happen to go down.
Yeah, especially a quarterback going down. That's like
absolutely
it counts for such a majority of your points week in, week out.
A lot of points.
For sure. And that's why you do your research and do the numbers like Mariano does, and you know those facts that he's top 5 quarterback and has potential like that. So that's a good research on Mariano's part. Going on to my last sleeper, I have Tevin Coleman. Breed of the Cheetah, as Mariano calls him, is out over there in Miami now, right?
Yep.
Yeah, they did a trade. It's Tevin, Radio Raheem over there, and Tevin was brought in free agency. He ate, but he had injury issues last season. I think this is his offense now, in one of the most dynamic, running games in the league. They know how to run the ball over there. Kyle Shanahan.
I think he's going to split time with Mostert, but even last year, they had a running back by committee.
Yeah, all 3 of them.
Until around late season, playoff time, then it was Raheem Mostert's show. Mm-hmm. But again, I think that if Mostert comes out slow or whatever it may be, Kyle Shanahan has a lot of trust in Tevin Coleman.
Yeah,
there's a reason why he brought him from Atlanta to San Francisco.
Yeah.
So either one of those backs, I think they're going to be solid for sure.
For sure, yeah. All right, we're all done with the sleepers and the rookies. Now,
on to segment number 2,
which is
top 10 QBs.
I feel like I caught you off. Which is top 10 at each position.
At each position. Yeah. So I'm okay with starting with QBs. You want to do QBs?
Yeah. Let's just let them know as far as the kickers and defenses. Yeah. If you've been playing fantasy for a long time, kickers and defenses are streamable week in, week out. I don't think there's a need to touch on top 10 at each position for that. Yeah. We'll highlight the top 5. I'm not going to go into too many details as to why they're the top 5 or anything. I'll do little side notes, but I'm not going to elaborate a lot on it. But I'll still give you some top 5 players in that position, and Mariano's going to give some notes too.
Yeah, for sure. I think really every year there's a different defense that really arises. 2 years ago it was the Chicago Bears. They were solid. Last year it was the Patriots defense. They were scoring like every other week. So
picked them up off the waiver.
Yeah, right. So that's the thing, man. For me, I like to swap and go each week by week off of the waivers and kind of see where my matchups are. If I know that this offense that's playing
The Dolphins.
The Dolphins. Last year, that was our call, right?
Yeah.
Anyone that was playing the Dolphins, you start them. They really came on late
Jaguars
last
might
year.
have a weak offense too. This
Yeah. So that's kind of the name of the game for me, is to kind of go week by week with kickers as well as defenses.
season. Yep, for sure. So who started Mario?
I'll kick it off. I think the number one QB is an obvious choice. We all know Patty Mahomes is a stud. He's a beast. He's unstoppable at the moment. The rest of the league hasn't caught up to him. He's doing no-look passes. He's chucking it 80 yards.
He's like, did you see that shit? He's like, I just learned how to read defenses last season too.
Right.
I'm
right.
like, what, bro?
So the sky's the limit for
What?
the guy. The fact that he's in our division as a Raider fan, it pisses me off
The
every
next
single
10
day.
years, bro.
Yeah, it's gonna be trouble for the next 10 years.
So piggybacking off of what Mariano said, I have Patrick Mahomes as my number one quarterback too. However, I have a tie for first, which is Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is dynamic. He's a playmaker. This man makes people look stupid on the field. He's a grown man playing amongst kids. This guy, big play potential every time he touches his field. I think he's an elite quarterback, just like Patrick Mahomes, to keep it going.
Yeah.
So that's my number two. I think Mariano, I'm looking at Mariano's list, he has the same.
We're damn near the same. My number three, it's a little different.
You got
My number three,
flip-flopped.
yeah.
I was thinking that too. I was
You can't go
honestly-
wrong.
yeah.
You can't go wrong with either one of them. But I got Russell Wilson.
I'm just gonna double check over here. Still recording?
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, cool.
We good?
I'm paranoid because the last
I
time
know, right?
I had some technical difficulties trying to film, so
Yeah.
I'm just paranoid.
So I got Russ. That man's a baller, man. I mean, there's not much to say.
I don't have to say much.
You don't gotta say anything. I mean, it's a new league. It's the top 4 quarterbacks are all mobile quarterbacks, and they have great arms. They're accurate. They're no longer fucking run out the pocket and sling that shit and throw interceptions or Right.
fumble. Or these guys get out the pocket. They do their thing. Russell Wilson is the prototype. He's the first one. He's Michael Vick, we know, of course, but
right.
Russell Wilson perfected it, to be honest.
Absolutely, yeah.
And he's been doing his thing.
He protects the football, those touchdowns. He makes spectacular plays.
Man doesn't need an offensive line.
Yeah,
This
he's
man
elusive. I mean, he should have. I think he might have an MVP season this upcoming season. So
For sure. He
Niner
just got paid
fans-
too, right?
Yeah.
He's got that contract for sure. What are you saying about Niner fans? I want you to make that Niner comment.
There it is, right? I mean, it could go either way. The Niners have a strong defense. I'm not a Niner hater. You know what I mean? I can realize good football when I see it. But Russell Wilson, it's not even so much Russell either. I think the Seahawks defense got better as well. So it's gonna be a scratch and claw type season for the NFC West in totality.
The Cardinals, I think, is going to have they're going to show up in that division too.
Yeah,
The Rams, they're always
Right.
they're always a surprise too. They
Big
still
time.
have Sean McAvey, and he always comes up with some shit.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
going on to the other quarterback, me and Mariano have this flip flopped. So I have Russell Wilson at 4. He has him at 3. And then I have Deshaun Watson at 3, and he has him at 4. It could go either way, like Mariano said. It's honestly a tie, to be honest, tie for 3rd. But Deshaun Watson is another one of these dynamic quarterbacks. Makes plays every game. He gets into the end zone. He gets the job done. The man's a winner. He knows how to win. He lost D-Hop. I don't think it matters.
No. Yeah, I'll piggyback on that too. I kind of talked with Vic before the show that giving up D-Hop, that was a huge blow, and I think that they didn't get as much back as they should have. But I think it's gonna allow Watson to spread the ball more evenly throughout the whole team. So I think it's gonna open it up, and it's gonna do better things, especially if Will Fuller can stay healthy. That's the
Key
big
factor.
That's a key factor for sure.
Major key.
Going on to, I always lose fucking, I should put numbers on the side of this. My quarterback 5. It was on me, right?
Yeah.
My turn?
Yep.
Oh, no, I just did Deshaun Watson. So
Oh,
it's on me.
yeah. So for me, it's Dak. Dak Prescott. He's got so much talent around him. It's ridiculous. He's got Zeke in the backfield, right? They just drafted the new receiver, C.D. Lamb, Michael Gallup, Amari Cooper. So the list goes on. He's got a ton of talent around him. So really, it's up to him. He's playing on the franchise tag this year.
Yeah,
So
wants to get paid.
he's got to ball out again.
Tired of that bullshit.
Exactly, right?
No, to me, on the like in football in general, outside of fantasy football, I don't like the guy. I know he does the numbers in fantasy. I'll give him
Right.
that credit, but I don't think he's like. I think he's overhyped, honestly.
Right.
As like a franchise quarterback,
Fair enough.
you know. But
Yeah.
he gets the job done in fantasy, and that's what we're here for.
That's it,
you know.
right? Put up the
So,
points, man.
I have him as my number 6.
Okay.
Mariano has him at 5. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, we're on the same page here. I got number 5 for me is Drew Brees. Drew Brees got injured last season. You know, he had a down season
Fucked his hand up.
because of his injury, of course.
Yeah.
You know, but this motherfucker slings for at least 4,000 yards every season. He has Michael Thomas
Every
fucking
year.
open all the time. He'll give you at least
Unguardable.
27 touchdowns each year, and
Yeah.
this man gives you at least, you need 20 points, he'll give you at least 18 each year. That's I think that's a good floor.
Yeah.
And Drew Brees is old. He needs to get to the fucking Super Bowl again and retire. That's what he wants to do. So he has something to prove, I think. And
Yep.
you know, I like Drew Brees. He
Yeah.
slings that shit.
I got Drew Brees at 7. I had him last year. The reason why he's so low is just because he's getting up there. I think he lost some arm strength last year. And maybe it was an injury, couldn't grip the ball, whatever it may be. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But I had drafted Drew Brees and Alvin Kamara, and they both had down seasons last year.
That was
So
a rough one.
it was a rough season. They started to pull it out shortly towards the end of the season, but still, I hope he comes back. But I skipped over number 6, and I touched on it earlier. Josh Allen, 9 rushing touchdowns, 20 passing touchdowns. So again, I think he's got a lot of upside. And don't forget, he's also got the receiver from the Vikings,
Stephon Diggs.
Stephon Diggs, right? So he's got a cannon of an arm, and they just added a premier deep threat as well. So
Some Raider stuff on the screen.
that's
over
it,
there.
man. Yes, sir.
What QB just went? You went to your 6th one, right?
6, yeah.
Okay. My 6 was Dak Prescott, as I touched already. We already discussed that. My 7th is the man over there in Atlanta, Matty Ice.
Matty Ice.
I think he has such a great cast around him. He has 2 dynamic receivers. He has a better running back now. He has a better tight end. Not a better tight end. He has a good enough tight end, just like Austin Hooper was. This man is the definition of consistency. I think the last 4 seasons he's came in at least top 5, 6
Yeah.
in fantasy points. This man will get you. He's not fun to watch. There's nothing amazing about him, but this dude will get you 20 points week in, week out.
Absolutely.
And I love consistency in fantasy football. I've had this dude. He doesn't amaze me each week, but he
But
gets
he's
the job done.
consistent.
He gets
Right.
the job done, and that's what you want.
That's huge.
And that's why I have him here, because there's no surprises with him.
Yeah, big time. For my next one is Kyler Murray.
Oh, we're on the same page.
Yeah, Kyler Murray, baby. Right?
Yes, sir.
You add D-Hop. Kenyon Drake was running the rock last year.
But was so happy to be out of Miami.
Yeah, exactly. They got Christian Kirk. I mean, they got talent
Yeah.
on the offensive side of the ball. And I think really the reason why he's number 8 right now is simply for the fact that they got one of the best receivers in the game. And that's DeAndre Hopkins.
And man, you can just throw it to him. He'll just.
Exactly. He plucks it out the air,
Exactly.
man. Right?
This is a great. He produced the numbers too last season. Kyler Murray was doing his thing too.
Without him.
Exactly, and he's one of these. He's going to be one of these Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson, the quarterbacks we touched on earlier.
Right.
Just a young quarterback that has to, gel into his role, but he's for sure on that track. Number 9 for me, since we have the same 8, I got Tom Brady. Tom Brady, Tampa Bay,
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay Tom.
I like it.
He has a lot of weapons. Last season, he had no fucking weapons. It was the Julian Edelman show over there. AB was there for a week and then fucking went crazy.
Yep.
All right. My bad, you guys. We had a
Nice little break. Commercial break.
little commercial break. I was talking about Antonio Brown. He went crazy. Tom Brady had no weapons, you know. Over here in Tampa Bay, he has Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Cameron Brate, Gronk, OJ Howard. A spew of weapons. He's gonna be great over there, and I think he's gonna have an amazing season now that he has a bunch of weapons around him.
Yeah, I'm done with Tom Brady. Like I touched on, I don't want nothing to do with him, right? Which is why some people probably gonna frown at this one, but I got DC as my number 9. I got Derek Carr.
Oh,
Derek Carr, hot take alert.
hey, he has to prove it this season.
He's got to prove it. This is the year. No more excuses for Derek Carr. You got
Full
the
cast.
talent. You got the receivers now. I mean, he was throwing to nobodies last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you got the talent. You got a running back, a stud running back,
Stud tight end.
stud tight end, and you got first round receivers, Henry Ruggs. I've been hearing big things about Bryan Edwards. So no more excuses, DC. I'm going to make a prediction. I'm going to say DC throws for 35 touchdowns this year.
Ooh.
4,000 yards passing, right? And only 8 interceptions. So that's my prediction for Derek Carr this year.
Okay. He's gonna be back to that MVP caliber. I
Yes,
like
sir.
it. And coming in at number 10 for me is Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, you know, to me, I had him last year. He had a couple down games for me, and I felt like he had an off season.
Yeah.
And then I was checking the stats, and the guy came in at quarterback number 9. So I don't know, like, he had a couple big games. I think that's what balanced it out.
Offset it. Yeah.
He disappointed me some weeks. He gave me like 14 points, 13 points here. But make no mistake, if this man can sneak into the top 9 like that, first year in Matt LaFleur's offense, coming into second year, things are only going to be better, gel better. We know they have a dynamic run game. He doesn't have another receiver, although Lazard is, you know, emerging on that offense. Devontae Adams is still Devontae Adams.
Yep.
As long as he's healthy. He had injury concerns. He had injury issues last season. But, you know, as long as him and Aaron Rodgers are on the same team, Aaron Rodgers is going to eat. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, I got A-Rod at 10 too. The reason why he's so low is not so much his fault. I think it's the general managers over there. They didn't draft any talent. In fact, in the first round, they drafted another quarterback in Jordan Love. Disrespect, bro. Disrespect.
So janky, bro.
So it's not so much A-Rod. If they would have gave him one of these first round caliber receivers, he would have been much higher on my list.
Yeah.
I think he just needs more talent around him, man.
So many receivers, and you went and got Jordan Love.
We got Aaron Jones in the backfield, but that's for the run game, right?
Yeah.
So I know that Matt LaFleur has the real intent to run the football. So it's not so much A-Rod. As far as from a talent point of view, he's still got it. We just need more supporting cast around A-Rod. But don't get me wrong, he could most certainly still be a starter on your team, if not number 2 quarterback,
Exactly.
100%. So
So that kicks off the quarterbacks. Moving on to the running backs right now. Since you just ended, I'll go.
yeah,
We're gonna go. I got a lot of tie for first in all of my lists because there's just a lot of good players in this league. We have Christian McCaffrey and Saquon tied for first for me. This is a good problem if you're in the number 1, number 2 pick. Me, I'm going personally CMC all day.
all day.
But
He'll probably be the number 1 draft.
Yeah,
number
for
1
sure.
overall pick this year.
But
in
Saquon
every draft.
has the talent to do what CMC does. I think the offense just needs to get it together over there. But he's going to help Daniel Jones out a lot. Saquon's a monster. And that's all there is to it.
Yeah, I got the same 2 as well. You can't go wrong with either or. So we'll jump to 3 for me. Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is a man amongst boys.
Single-handedly took the Titans to the freaking AFC championship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Derrick Henry is a beast. He's a stud, however you want to put it. And
Running motherfuckers over.
now that they got a head coach that really emphasizes on running the ball, he's gonna keep toting that rock. So Derrick Henry's number 3 for me.
I think that was the problem before with him. He didn't get the touches he needed to get going, and now they freaking feed this man.
Yep.
So I have him as my running back 6. Mariano's a little high for him, but you know he'll produce. Oh, for me personally.
He led the league in rushing
Hey,
last year, man.
Hey, he's on my list too. I'm not saying he's a bad guy. For me, number 3, I have Kamara. Alvin Kamara is an elite running back to me. This man makes people look stupid with the hand in his ball. What's the hand in his ball?
With his balls in his hand.
This man is amazing in the running game and in the passing game.
Yeah.
Drew Brees obviously likes throwing the ball to him. I love this guy. He had a down season last season, as Mariano touched on earlier. I think we have a bounce back season, and he's worth that number 3 running back position to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I got you, man. For me, the next one's Dalvin Cook. This man's a beast ever since he was at Florida State, right?
Yeah.
We know that they're going to run the rock, and they got a quarterback, Kirk Cousins, that is a little teeter-tottering sometimes. He came on strong, and I don't know, after the first quarter of the season. But he's not always on par and a prime quarterback. So they're really going to rely on him in the screen game, the running game. So he's going to get his touches and his points week in, week out.
My biggest thing is that, the receivers are frustrated over there in Minnesota because they're running the ball so much. So
Right.
we definitely know Mike Zimmer is the head coach.
Yep. Mike Zimmer.
He wants to run the ball with Dalvin Cook. He had an amazing season last season. Every year we know he has the potential, but the injury concern is the main thing.
Right.
I have him on my list too. He's just a little lower for me. I have him at 6. You have him at 4, right?
I got him at 4.
Okay, no problem there. My number 4 is Zeke. Zeke was first 2 years in fantasy was a fucking monster. However, he's just like I touched on earlier, Matty Ice. He's consistent. He's a consistent running back.
Right.
He'll get you those points that you need week in, week out. He doesn't. Sometimes he doesn't have amazing games. Sometimes he does. It's like but what you do get is the production out of him week in, week out. So he'll give you those big games too, but he'll have a good a good high floor is what I want to say.
Yes.
So I like Zeke in that respect, and they have a good offensive line over there.
Yeah.
So
I got Zeke at number 5.
Okay.
So I'll jump to number 6, Josh Jacobs.
let's
man.
go.
Let's go. Right.
Every time I hear a Raiders name, let's go.
Come on, man. Y'all know I had a few Raiders on my list, man, on all of them, right?
Yeah.
So Josh Jacobs is a stud. He missed 3 games last season and still rushed for 1,100 yards.
This man played with a fucked up shoulder too.
Yes. So assuming that he's healthy throughout the season, he's going to get off. And from what I've heard, I follow the Raiders religiously. John Gruden was pissed off that he didn't win Offensive Rookie of the Year. So this year, they're going to come out trying to prove a point. They're going to get him more involved in the passing game, as well as he's going to tote that rock. So that's a big one for me. Josh Jacobs, number 6.
I don't understand how he didn't win that rookie.
That was
so
a joke,
mad,
bro. It was a joke. It was a joke.
I have Jacobs in at number 9 for me. Love him. That's my guy. Last season, I picked him up 3rd round. Amazing first round talent.
You got him in the 3rd
Got
round.
him in the 3rd round, bro.
What a steal.
Exactly. Love that guy. That's my dog. He's gonna be our dog for 10 years over there.
Yep.
So we touched on Derrick Henry. That's my running back 5. Dalvin Cook. That's my running back 6. Going on to 7, I have Aaron Jones over there on the Packers. So last season I think was his breakout season. Season before he showed flashes. First year with Matt LaFleur, he put an emphasis on the run game. This man Aaron Jones was a monster. Had big games. I think a second season with Matt LaFleur, offense clicking better. They do their thing. I think they have all the same pieces on that offense, besides Jordan Love, I guess.
Yep.
And they do have a backup running back that they drafted, AJ Dillon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not concerned about
But
him.
he's more of a bruiser.
Yeah. I'm not worried about him.
On third downs, A.A. Jones, A.A. Ron.
Hey, Ron.
A.A. Ron Jones.
The
He's
Brickashaw
gonna-
Ferguson.
Yeah. That's it, right? A.A. Ron Jones.
Hey, Ron.
He's gonna be the bell cow.
For sure.
You know. So the next one that I got is Alvin Kamara, number 7. As I touched on it last year, I had him. He had a very down season last year. I think he was injured. It came out that he was playing with some type of injury. So Alvin Kamara could potentially be much higher on the list, but just off of going what I dealt with last year, that's why he comes in at number 7. So Vic already touched on that. I'll jump to number 8 real quick. Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb is a beast, boy. I don't know if you guys seen the highlights last year, but he recorded the fastest time as a running back at like
I was digging.
22 miles per hour, bro. So Nick Chubb's a stud.
If I'm not mistaken, he led the league in rushing.
No,
Who led the league in
Derrick
rushing?
Henry.
Did he?
Mm-hmm. Let's
You
fact
might
check
be.
real
You might be
quick.
right. You like the numbers better than I do.
Yeah, who
Let's see.
led NFL in rushing 2019? Derrick Henry.
Oh, he came in third.
He came in third. So Derrick Henry.
Wait, how did he come in third if 1494 and 1357? How the fuck does that work?
I don't know.
That's weird.
Yeah, I think he came in second.
He came in second. Yeah.
Yeah, so Derrick Henry was first in the league in rushing last year with 1540. Zeke Elliott was third with 1357, and Nick Chubb was 1494, so almost 1500 yards.
And I think Freddie Kitchens being out of there is going to do their offense some justice.
Yeah.
They had so much talent, he just didn't know how to use them.
That man was a joke.
Yeah.
He got promoted.
So I think Chubb is going to do his thing. I'm not worried about Kareem Hunt either.
No.
They were both eating. Kareem Hunt was getting at least 10 points, and then Chubb was doing his thing too. So that's a good thing. Going on to my number 9, I have Josh Jacobs, which we talked about earlier. He's a homer. We know a lot about him. We have faith. We know Gruden wants to fucking run him to the ground.
Yep.
That's our dog for sure.
That's it.
Going on to my running back 10, since we already talked about Jacobs, I have Leonard Fournette coming in at my running back 10. I don't know why the Jacksonville Jaguars want to get rid of this man. They drafted another running back too. This man's been productive. He had some injury issues before, but he played the whole season last season.
Yep.
And this man's productive. This man gets his touches. He'll get you those at least 20 touches a game. Only problem is he doesn't get into the end zone. He's like a Julio Jones of the running back.
Right.
So he'll get you at least 100 yards. Right? And that's all cool and gravy, but he didn't score that many touchdowns last season. But, you know, he has opportunity to score touchdowns, and that's what we want in the running back position. We want those carries. So
we want touches.
Exactly. So
Yeah, so my next one, you guys already heard Nick Chubb. It's Raheem Mostert. I got to show some love to the other team in the Bay.
We're no longer in the Bay.
I know. That's right, huh?
To the team in the Bay.
To the team in the Bay, excuse me, right? Like I said, I'm not a Niner hater. I respect good football when I see it, right? And Raheem Mostert came on last year. I know that he was in a contract battle with the 49ers, and they got that resolved, gave him a little pay raise. So expect him, I would say, definitely RB2, if not flex, 100%.
Yep. Yep, that's a good one.
Yeah. And I got, you're done with yours, right?
I'm done, yeah.
I got one more for my top 10 running backs. It's Mark Ingram. Mark Ingram, with Lamar Jackson, the dual threat quarterback that he is, it opens up the run so much for these running backs because they don't know if the quarterback still has the rock or if the running back's got it with the read option.
So worried about
Lamar.
Jackson.
So worried about Lamar that it opens it up. So Mark Ingram's going to get his majority of the touches. And again, don't forget about J.K. Dobbins. He's the second running back there. So both of them, expect them to have solid, consistent season.
Yeah, so if I had an 11th, Mark Ingram would come in at 11 for me.
Yeah.
Love that guy. That guy's a beast. All right. This camera having some issues. We needed another battery or something. Sorry, that's why there's little pauses in between. So we finished off talking about Mark Ingram, starting the wide receiver, top 10 wide receiver list we have here. I'm going to let Mariano go handle this one right now.
Yes, sir. So I'm going to rock my first three. First one, Mike Thomas. Can't go wrong with Mike Thomas. That boy is a beast. Broke the record last year for most receptions in a season. So he's going to continue to get open, and as long as Drew Brees is the quarterback, we're going to keep on rolling.
I'm being hella loud over here with this freaking
jacket.
Good. Yeah, I got Michael Thomas in, number 1, too. Like we touched on earlier, Drew Brees loves throwing for 4,000 yards each season. Michael Thomas finds a way to get open. He's not a burner. He's just a great route runner.
Yeah.
Finds a way to get open.
Big body.
Yeah, and he's the only 99 wide receiver on Madden. If you didn't know that. So,
yes, sir. Number 2. Oh, go ahead. Are you going to finish?
Yeah. I'm going to go number 2 since you didn't know.
Yeah.
I got Nuke, DeAndre Hopkins over there. I'm going to say on the Texans, but on the Cardinals. You know, he no longer has Deshaun Watson, but like I said, that man's quarterback proof. And Kyler Murray is still a dynamic quarterback.
Yep.
I think they're going to get the job done. New scenery. He's going to like his coach this season. So, you know, I think, you know, Nuke's going to be Nuke. Do his thing still.
Yeah, number 2 for me is Mike Evans. I had Mike Evans last year as well, and that boy would drop like 50-point games, right? So he'll explode. For the most part, he's consistent as well, and it's even going to get better with Tom Brady at quarterback. So
Exactly.
Mike Evans, number 2.
Yeah, I have Mike Evans as 5 on my list. Love Mike Evans. Had him last year too. Man had a couple of 40-point games, I think, or 30 points.
Yeah.
Big games.
Stellar game.
Exactly. Yeah. People were worried the first 2 weeks because he put up 8 points total last season.
Right.
And then blew up the next game.
Went crazy.
So, you know, we love Mike Evans over here. He's been one of the most consistent wide receivers too in the league. If you notice, every year he gets his touchdowns. He gets at least 1,000 yards, and he's consistent. Like we love on this channel, consistency. Going on to my voice cracked right there. Going on to my wide receiver number 3, we got Tyreek Hill. I almost forgot about this guy for some reason. He's on the Super Bowl winning team, the Kansas City Chiefs. This guy's electric whenever he gets the ball in his hand. He makes plays. He's the fastest man in the league. I mean, Henry Ruggs might give him a run for his money, but you know,
Still.
Tyreek Higgins. Tyreek Hill does the damn thing. He's a playmaker.
Yeah.
He just loves getting into the end zone.
For me, I got DK Metcalf as number 3. Very high, sophomore, hot take alert. DK came on towards the end of the year last year, and in the playoffs, he set a record for a rookie. I think he had over 100 yards in the playoff game. So, DK Metcalf, you got a Hall of Fame quarterback in Russell Wilson, future Hall of Fame quarterback. So DK Metcalf is going to continue to grow. He is a beast. I think he's the closest thing to Megatron since Megatron's left.
Boy's a monster. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah.
Creative player. Madden creative player. in real life.
Yeah, he always likes to make the buff ass motherfuckers.
Right.
That's why we have Mariano on here. He keeps the show fresh. You know, these hot takes, man.
That's it.
You know. I have number, what am I, 4? No, I'm on 5, bro. Oh no, I skipped one. I skipped my 3. My 3 is Julio Jones. There's no. I don't think I have to talk about Julio Jones.
No.
I mean, he lacks what, touchdowns sometimes.
Mic drop. Julio Jones.
But this man is the most consistent wide receiver in the league, and week in, week out. This is also what helps Matty Ice stock, as I was talking about earlier, how he's so consistent. So is Julio Jones. They go hand in hand, obviously. Elite wide receiver. And it could have been a 3-way tie for first for me as far as the wide receivers. Maybe even 4th, Tyreek does his damn thing. But, you know, you just know we have a high-quality list of top 4 over here.
Yeah.
Mariano's turn now.
Yeah, so I got, for number 4, Devontae Adams. We kind of touched on it earlier. Solid. Aaron Rodgers is a quarterback. Can't go wrong. Julio's my 5, right? So we've already talked about Julio. Mic drop Julio. Number 6 is Galladay. Yeah, Kenny Galladay was a beast last year. I play FanDuel, and he was one of the cheapest receivers in every single week.
Love that guy.
He was just putting out points. So can't go wrong with Galladay either.
I got him so late, like probably 5th round, 6th round last year. That dude was a monster.
Steal,
love that guy.
bro. Steal.
Not a steal this year, unfortunately.
No.
So, touched on Tyreek. We touched on Mike Evans already. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My wide receiver 5 is Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin was, I think he led the league in receiving last year. Came out of nowhere, I believe. He had a cool season before that.
Yeah.
I think he broke out last season. And we love those 2 wide receivers on that Tampa Bay offense, especially now that they have Tom Brady. For me, this was a tie. Godwin and Evans was tied for the 5th place position, obviously because they have Tom Brady there now. That's definitely going to boost their stock, and they're only going to get better now that Jameis Winston isn't throwing 30 picks. Love those 2 guys. I had Devontae Adams next as my 7th wide receiver, so let Mariano go with the next one.
Yeah, so after Galladay at 6, I got 7, D-Hop, 8, Chris Godwin. We've already touched about it. And then number 9, Tyreek Hill. We know, we just talked about it, right? And then the last one is Juju for me. He's getting Big Ben back this year. So once you put consistent play back at quarterback position, he should have a bounce back year this year, which last year wasn't so bad. But with more consistent quarterback play, his numbers are going to arise as well.
Correct, yeah. And I think he would have benefited way better if he had Ben Roethlisberger all last season.
Big time.
He steps into that role, Antonio Brown role. There might be a little hiccups here and there, but now that he has like a wide receiver as Chase Claypool, it's going to help, alleviate some of
the double coverage and the bracket coverage.
Exactly, because last season they also struggled to find that wide receiver too on that offense. So now that we have better options this season, I for sure think that Juju will make a jump. He was my wide receiver 8 on my list. 7 for me is Keenan Allen. Mariano doesn't like this pick at all.
It's not Keenan.
Yeah,
Allen
I know it's
either.
not Keenan Allen. It's the quarterback situation.
Quarterback play.
If Tyrod Taylor starts for the majority of the season, I think that definitely hurts his stock.
Yeah.
For sure. If we get Justin Herbert in there, then we have some fresh life in at quarterback.
But he's still a rookie.
Yeah, he's still a rookie.
Yeah.
But an elite wide receiver with a rookie quarterback, that's just his best friend.
Right.
I
could be wrong.
Hey, but you have a point with the Tyrod Taylor thing.
Yeah.
But I love Keenan Allen. He's been a man, especially when he stays healthy. He's had some injury concerns in the past, but he's shown up. He's been up there with the freaking DeAndre Hopkins and the freaking. He's the top wide receiver, and he shows it on game day. I said I had Juju 8. Talked about that, and Juju's 9 for me, and then Galladay is 10. We already talked about that, so I'm done with my wide receivers. As are you?
I'm done. Yeah.
Correct.
Going with my receivers. So we got one more segment, and that's the tight ends. Top 10 tight ends.
Yes, sir. So I just finished the wide receivers, so you can start that.
Kick it off. It's a no-brainer. Everyone knows George Kittle's the best tight end in the league.
That's why you got paid like it.
Absolutely. He'll probably end up being early second-round pick this year, if not late first.
If he's there in third.
Oh, man, that's going to be a steal if he's there in the third.
Exactly.
So that's a no-brainer. I think our first few ones are the same, or first 2. I got Travis Kelce second. Everyone should know this by now. If you don't, keep watching the podcast. Right?
That's another one. It's like a tie for first. These 2 guys are,
Absolutely.
Kelsey's the veteran that's been doing his thing for a long time, and then the George Kittle's the young blood on the block, right? But they're both amazing tight ends. Number 3, I have Zach Ertz over there on the Eagles. Why you say that?
Cause man, you're not giving our guy no love.
Who? Oh no,
Darren Waller, baby.
He's on my list, man. He's just
he needs to be.
I want to trust me. He finished as
Got him at 5th, man.
he finished as tight end 3 last season. I know. I love the guy. He's my dog. But we have a lot of weapons on our offense, and we have to spread the ball out this season.
Right.
Last year was the Waller show because we had injuries and. We had 1 week where he was just throwing to Hunter Renfrow and fucking Zay Jones and some quarterback we signed that week or some wide receiver we signed that week. So Darren Waller was the main target.
Point. Yeah.
So that's why he got a lot of work. I'm just being realistic this season. We're going to spread the ball. We have a lot more weapons on offense, and we want to keep people guessing.
Yeah.
Zach Ertz has always been a focal point on that Philadelphia Eagles.
Right.
Offense. I don't know why.
No, to your point though, I'm looking at the targets for last season.
Mm-hmm.
Travis Kelce comes in at number 1 with 136 targets, and that's what I like to focus on is the opportunities. Exactly. How many opportunities are you going to get throughout the season to touch the rock? Mm-hmm. And Zach Ertz is right behind him at 135. So exactly. you got a very valid point. Mm-hmm. To me, when I watch Zach Ertz play, he's slow as a slug. So he gets the targets though. He had 916 yards for 6 touchdowns. So again, you can't go wrong. Mm-hmm. But maybe it's just a little bias, my internal bias that I have with the Raiders.
I'd love putting them up, but you have to have some realism, and we know we're going to spread the ball. We know we've been following camp, and we know these things.
Touche.
So the only thing about Zach Ertz is Dallas Goedert steals those freaking touchdowns sometimes. Mm-hmm. And that's the only knock I have on him, really.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't know why I thought he had a down year last season, but he did pretty solid.
Yeah.
Finished top 5, right? Top 6?
Top 5.
Top 5, yeah. So I don't know why. I just had that notion in my head, but after I read the numbers and stuff, I realized that he did his thing. I think it was the season before that is when he had a down one.
Yeah.
So that's my number 3. Let Mariano go for this one.
Yeah, my number 3 is Darren Waller. We touched on it already. This dude was a stud last year. He had 90 targets. 1145 yards, so 1,145 yards. He only had 3 touchdowns, but I do expect that to improve this year. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Darren Waller's number 3. Number 4, I got Mark Andrews. So Mark Andrews.
My bad. Let me just touch on the Waller one real quick. We know John Gruden said so specifically. I want to come out there in my 3 tight end sets. I want to run as many 3 tight end sets as I can. Mm-hmm. That's just great news for Waller.
Absolutely.
And then they're going to do a running game out of 3 tight end set, and then they're going to do play action. And then, that opens up so much.
Yeah. Yeah, so Mark Andrews for number 4.
Same here.
Yeah, Mark Andrews had 98 targets, 64 receptions, 852 yards, and 10 touchdowns, dude. 10 touchdowns.
The big thing for me is Lamar Jackson gets out the pocket. You have a big body right there.
That's who he's finding.
Exactly.
That's his best friend at the moment. Is Mark Andrews, especially in the red zone.
Especially in the red zone, exactly. Yeah. Cool, we agree on that one.
Mm-hmm.
My number 5 is Waller, and Mariano doesn't like that. We already touched on Waller. So I'm going on to my 6, which is Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry was injured for most of last season. I thought he wasn't going to play. We said I was reviewing our podcast last year, and we're like, he's done for the season.
Yeah.
But he came back late in the season, had a couple good games, went off. And we have a rookie quarterback. Rookie quarterbacks, what are they like? A big target, big tight end target.
Tight ends.
Example, Mark Andrews and Lamar Jackson that we just talked about. Even though he wasn't a rookie, it was his first year fully starting,
Right. He found him a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think Hunter Henry, and he's a dynamic playmaker. He was doing great with Phillip Rivers, Old Man Rivers, and I think he'll continue to do that.
Yeah, big time. Number 5, I got Zach Ertz. We touched on it, ton of targets. So he's gonna get his touches. Number 6, I got Evan Ingram. So as long as what I saw or what I stated earlier for my sleepers, if Daniel Jones can continue to grow as a quarterback in his sophomore season, I think that Evan Ingram's going to be a tremendous part. And the old head coach for the Dallas Cowboys is actually in New York now as the offensive coordinator, Jason Garrett. So we know that historically with Jason Garrett, Jason Witten has been the man over there. So again, this upcoming season for Evan Ingram, I think it's going to be a solid year for him. So yeah, that's my number 6.
All right, moving on to my 7th tight end, I have the man, the myth, the legend, the Gronk himself.
Gronkowski.
Gronkowski's coming out of retirement, joined his old best friend, Tampa Bay Tom over there. We know that connection.
Absolutely, man.
Brought him Super Bowls, that connection. They got plays made up just for them too. Loves fighting him in the red zone. Gronk's been out of football for a year, but this man is football. This man is a man playing among children. He's going to come back, not lose any strides. And then he's going to eat over there, bro.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So for me, my next one will probably be a surprise to people. But coming in at number 7, I got Eric Ebron. So Eric Ebron, if you don't know already, he signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And we touched on it earlier that Big Ben is back, right? So we have more consistency at the quarterback position for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I expect Eric Ebron to come out and ball out, right?
Exactly.
I can't remember the last time he had a solid tight end. I know that McDonald was the tight end in previous years.
Yeah.
But Eric Ebron can run.
Yeah.
Right? That's the big thing, is that he can run, he can get open, he's a mismatch. So
Exactly.
that's me for number 7.
Going on to number 8, I have Austin Hooper. Like I said earlier, I hated on the man for no reason at all. I just didn't think that he could do it. Atlanta Falcons figured it out for him. He showed that he could be productive. He's going to the Browns now. New head coach. The head coach is smart. He'll use his potential, make plays for him. Nick Chubb. Finally use those wide receivers. Use that whole potential on that offense.
Yeah.
So if they use him right, Austin Hooper has the ability to continue what he started last season.
Yeah, I have a thing with Cleveland. I just feel like, when players go there, their careers, that's the land of death for them.
Yeah.
That's where careers go to die.
Exactly.
OBJ hasn't been the same. Hopefully he can pick back up. As you can tell, OBJ wasn't even in our top 10, either of us. So maybe it's the quarterback play of Baker. But then also, I think, I don't know, man. It's just, he made one catch of his career, and he's had solid games after that. But ever since he left New York, the spotlight's not on him so much, and he doesn't have the production.
Yeah, they also need to get that offense, whatever new offense. It's going to be hard with this whole COVID shit, getting a new offense implemented. Yeah. So you might not see good things from Odell again this season too, to be honest.
Yeah.
Going on to number 9 for me, tight end, I have Evan Ingram. Mariano touched on that earlier. He's going to be like his main target.
Yep.
For Daniel Jones. They drafted some wide receiver, but it's not like no one spectacular or nothing. I forgot the name. I should do my research with it. Anyways, he's not important. We know that Evan Ingram and Saquon are going to be the focal points of this offense. They have Darius Slayton or whatever, but I'm not sold on Darius Slayton. A lot of people are.
Yeah.
Not I. But yeah, love Evan Ingram. See him having a better year this year than he did last year.
Yeah. And I got Rob Gronkowski at number 8. Number 9, I got Tyler Higbee. So Tyler Higbee of the Rams. I know that it was between him and Gerald Everett last year for the Rams, but I also took a look at the targets between the two, right? And Tyler Higbee had 89 targets last year, which is a ton of targets, right? Yeah. Even if you catch, let's just say half of them, I mean, that's 45 catches. So again, targets is what I look at when I go into a draft and I'm about to draft someone. I want to see how many times or how many opportunities did the player have to touch the rock and get points, right?
Touching the rock, you're not scoring points, man.
Tyler Higbee. Yes, sir.
Those are your number 9?
That was my number 9.
All right. Coming in at number 10 for me, this is my last tight end. I spoke about him earlier, Hayden Hurst. We look at Austin Hooper, which we talked about earlier, in the Atlanta offense. They obviously like using the tight end. They figured out how to use the tight end on that offense. Hayden Hurst has all the potential. We just didn't see him because he was buried by Mark Andrews in Baltimore. And I think they're going to use him to his full potential because they don't have a tight end 1. And Hayden Hurst is the man, and they obviously know how to use the tight end. Yeah, just going to go check the camera one more time.
Yep.
Keep on going. On to the next topic.
Yeah, so we still rolling?
Yeah, just like the battery lights blinking.
Okay, so last one, right? Last but not least, for my last tight end, it's going to be Mike Gesicki from Miami. He also had 89 targets last year, 51 receptions, 570 yards, and 5 touchdowns. And that was with Fitzmagic at quarterback. So we got Tua Tagovailoa at quarterback. He was a stud at Bama. So I would expect his numbers to go up significantly. Again, rookie quarterback, tight end, best friends, I would assume.
2 peas in a pod.
2 peas in a pod. So that's the biggest thing is that they have a new, young, up-and-coming quarterback.
They bring life into that offense. Yeah.
Exactly. So that does it.
That's done for the top 10s. We're going to touch bases on the kickers and defensives. As we said earlier, this is a streamable thing. Week in, week out, you look for matchups, and there's always going to be a kicker that you could pick up. This isn't necessarily something you have to stress on. You don't draft this early. You don't,
Right.
Just going to touch on my top 5 kickers. I'm going to let Mariano add any notes on there that he wants. We have Harrison Butker, Justin Tucker, Matt Gay, Robbie Gould, and Will Lutz. The first 2, they have the best quarterbacks in the league. You know what all these guys have in common? Their quarterback gets into the red zone, gives them opportunities. These are all great offenses. So it's freaking, it makes sense why they score and why they have the opportunities. So any notes you have on the kicker?
No, I've had Butker for the past 3 seasons, and this fool will drop like 20-point games coming from a kicker,
Yeah.
So can't go wrong with any of those guys.
Yeah, exactly. Going on to defense, my top 5 is San Francisco. They didn't lose any pieces besides the defensive tackle, I believe.
Right.
They're going to pick up right where they left off. The defense is nasty. We saw what they were doing to people. Pittsburgh, another defense that's picking up right where they left off. As soon as Minkah Fitzpatrick joined that team, lights out. They were creating turnovers left and right. TJ Watt is a monster. Baltimore is a historically defense team. We know that. Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, all those guys. They're just a defensive team. They're always going to be good on defense. Buffalo, their defense is still intact. We know that. They carried the freaking the Bills all last season. Whenever Josh Allen would make a mistake, they bail him out.
Right.
And then my last one is Chicago. I'm expecting a bounce back season. They had a bad season, but I think that's because they were in fucked up positions because of Michael Trubisky. We know they have Khalil Mack. They have what's the linebacker that they have too? They have a good linebacker too. But Trevathan, is that?
Danny Trevathan's one of them, but they had the rookie Smith, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, they have a good defense, you guys.
They have a good defense.
They have good pieces there.
They got Khalil,
Exactly.
former Raider.
And they have a good defensive tackle. They're solid over there. Yeah. So I'm expecting a bounce back from them, especially if they get the quarterback play figured out. And that concludes our top 10 list of everything, and top 5 of our side stuff. This concludes our Fantasy Extras podcast. This is the pre-podcast for the beginning of the season. Just want to touch bases with you guys and let you know what's going on in this crazy world, man. We're going to be coming out with another episode pretty soon too. We're going to touch more bases on more stuff.
About a week, and we're kind of thinking about maybe doing a first round mock draft for you guys. If you guys have any questions, or if you'd like us to answer anything specific or do any special segments, let us know.
Yeah, definitely leave a comment down and subscribe for sure, because that helps our channel out. We want to get it out there, help as many people as we can. And yeah, it was a pleasure to be back. I'm glad to be back, ready to draft. I got a couple drafts coming up, and it's gonna be
That's right.
It's gonna be a good time.
It's gonna be a good time.
All right,
Signing
Fantasy
off.
Experts out.
Laters.